Today we're going to be learning about two things. We're going to start by learning about the home front, and then we're going to learn about propaganda. So the home front is the area where civilian people are living during the war. So during the Civil War, the home front was pretty much in the backyards of the people because that's where they were fighting. The good thing during World War I is that the American home front is in America, of course, and there isn't any fighting going on in America. Most of the fighting is going on in Europe and on the sea. You do have to remember, though, that the other countries that are involved in the war may have fighting going on their home front, so basically in their backyard. What we're going to learn about today is what people back in America on their home front are doing to help out with the war. So I want you to be listening for that. Be listening for what different groups of people did to help out with the war effort that weren't actually soldiers. Okay, so I'm going to start reading and I want you to be listening for that. It says, soldiers fighting in the trenches of Europe needed lots of food and supplies. They needed small weapons, such as pistols, and large weapons, such as cannons. They needed uniforms, rifles, and helmets. Civilian workers made all these things. They produced more supplies during the war than any other country had in history. Civilians also supported the soldiers by eating less food and using less fuel at home. The government decided to allow only limited amounts of certain goods to each person. For example, civilians were asked not to eat meat on Tuesdays. The government used the food people saved to help feed the soldiers. So many men went to war that there were not enough workers in the nation's factories. This shortage of workers brought opportunities for women. Many women took jobs that had been open only to men. For example, women made weapons in factories, repaired cars, delivered mail, and directed traffic. And if you look at the bottom of the page, it says women work in a rifle factory during World War I. People had strong feelings of patriotism, as the flag hanging from the ceiling shows. So that's a bunch of women working in a factory. And before that, women hadn't worked in factories. And if we go to the next paragraph, it says, during the war, thousands of African Americans left the South to work in northern cities, such as Chicago and Detroit, where the factories were. African Americans earned more money working in factories in the North than they could earn in the South. They also earned respect because they were helping to win the war. Even so, African Americans still faced prejudice in both the North and the South. And if you look at the top of the page in the upper right-hand corner, it says building a ship. Thousands of African Americans helped with the war effort. In this photo, champion riveter Charles Knight puts together the ship with bolts and rivets. So the next thing you're going to do is answer these three questions. And please look back in the reading if you need to find the answer and you don't know it. So I need 2 facts about women on the home front. So what did they do to help? 2 facts about African Americans on the home front. And then at last, 2 facts about all civilians. So any kind of American on the home front that they did to help. Once you get that done, you're going to go on to the next slide. And you're going to watch a video about propaganda. And propaganda is basically advertising used to help people think a certain way. So you may see propaganda on TV to try to get you to buy a certain thing, or you may hear it on the radio or something like that. So they used a bunch of propaganda posters during World War I. And a lot of times what they're trying to get you to do is to help with the war effort. So it's good propaganda. All right. After you watch the video, you're going to see 2 more slides. I'm going to show you a poster. They used posters during World War I for their propaganda. So you're going to look at the poster and I want you to decide what it's trying to tell the audience to do. So you're going to do that on this one, and you're also going to do it on the next one. And it shows you a poster on this one of women workers. So what does the government want the audience to do? When you finish, be sure to turn it in. Make sure you've done your very best work. If you have any questions, please make sure that you let me know by emailing me. Have a great day, guys.